post-recording Etienne here. Just to let you know that we are still sorting out some technical issues. So please forgive any kind of auditory changes in the recording as we go along. The challenges that we're facing are that we have a lot of guests at a distance, so we're trying to normalize all the audio from the connections. Thanks for your patience and enjoy the show.
This is a certified hood classic.
Sakafet, Sakafet. What's up to all my beautiful people from all corners of the world? Welcome to episode 4 of Culture Invasion, and I am your host, Etienne. Hold on a second. Stop the music. Sakafet is actually a Lucian Creole phrase for what's up. The Arawak Indians were a well-established group on the island of St. Lucia. They eventually came under attack by the Caribs, who became the dominating tribe throughout the Caribbean. From there, history fast forwards us to the slave trade and the repeated settlement of the island by the French and British. So now what you have is a blend of English, French, African, as well as the Carib languages, resulting in the amalgamation that is Creole.
Hell yeah! Hey DJ, bring that back!
In today's episode, we explore friendship a little deeper, and then go back to the land from whence I came, Cleveland, and talk to an old friend. Before we continue, as always, remember, my people, nothing is true. Everything is permitted. The world around us is not an absolute reality. Your reality is subjective to what you choose to explore in this vast world. What you limit yourself to and experience is your own responsibility. Choose wisely. Without further ado, let's get it. I once heard it spoken that if you're friends with everyone, you're friends with no one, especially yourself. Humans have a tendency to sloppily label and box up how we view our fellow man. We do this for our personal comfort, mental, and social well-being. And the idea that one person can please the masses as a whole is just a concept met with failure. My ideas, knowledge, perspective, and expression of life experience may very well grind your gears. And in turn, your ideas and opinions may offend me. We may never truly be friends. You may never listen to another one of my podcasts, and that's to be expected. But even by being friends and reflecting the best version of ourselves to the outside world, we may not fit into that proverbial box others have created. Again, our individual opinions, styles, perspectives, choices, or actions may make another person uncomfortable. And it's naturally so. It's part of our human nature. I'm not for you, and you're not for me. But as long as we can respectfully coexist in the best versions of harmony that we can, we as humans will still learn from one another and grow. What is most important in the end is that we're honest to ourselves, that our beliefs and actions are well-founded, and that they are the best versions of what we put out into the world. As we maneuver through our day-to-day, we often forget those friends that made us who we are, the positive connections that shaped us, No matter how minute the influence was or how great the influence was, they're impacts that last our lifetime. It's something that we hold near and dear to our hearts. All right, and today we have...
Word. Okay, my name is Ron D'Artagnan English. I'm Dart, man. Dart, friend and family of ATN since forever.
Since forever. Yeah,
Forever.
since as long as we can remember as children.
Yeah.
I think your parents moved on the block first, and then my parents followed. My father followed.
Yeah, I don't know. We were just having that talk, me and your dad, because we moved over there. I just looked at the Cuyahoga County Auditor site. I'm a homeowner, so I looked at the property on Silsby. My dad bought that house September of '79. So I was 3 years old, 3.5 years old when we moved on Silsby.
Okay, so my dad was the first then.
Word.
Yep.
Word. I never knew that, especially considering the neighborhood we grew up in.
Right.
It got populated quick.
It got populated really quick.
Do you know how long he was there before you were born?
Maybe just under a year. I think they were living in Forest Park Tower, and then they came down to the Heights. And I think I was on the way.
Got you. Oh, yeah, you figure, yeah, that's dope. That means, like you said, it could probably populate it quick, because we had the Opens next to me and the Barclays on the other side of me, and Ray and Al.
Menifees.
Crazy man that lived in the gray house. Ed was his name, I found out later in life.
Wow. Down at the other end, the Grimes. Then there was Eshawn.
I think Mike and Angel.
Mike and Angel. Yeah.
DL, who lived next door to
Yep.
Nikki and Nita.
Yep.
George, who ended up being across the street.
Yep.
Jeremy, who was next door to George, but Jeremy wasn't there all the time. He was almost across the street from y'all.
That neighborhood blew up quick.
It was the go. We had a great time as kids.
So that was following Vietnam era.
Just coming up out of that.
Yep.
And when my dad bought the crib, he got it for $37,000.
Yep. Yep. Dad paid about the same.
Yeah. So to think now, the house, if you sell it today, you probably get about $210.
Yep.
So I'm like, inflation and the way that, the market and all that stuff, like life moves on. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Last podcast I did, my buddy and I, you and I grew up in Cleveland, but he came up to Cleveland to go to school, and even he was talking about the fact that the face of like the town has changed around behind Cleveland Clinic. How everything's just the face of the city. Yep.
Influence of the Cleveland Clinic, Case Western Reserve, the VA hospital.
Yep.
Everything got going on in the inner city. You look up more and more, and neighborhoods are being torn down, and apartments are being put up, or condos, I should say.
Yep.
When I first started dating my wife, we were living in a house down by the library, and ended up, losing that crib. But we used to say, like, had they been able to keep that house in 15 years, somebody gonna want to buy that house, whether it's Case, Cleveland Clinic. Now, obviously, you have things like eminent domain, where they'll just decide we're just going to take their house or take the property. But at least at this point, they are cutting a little bit of checks. But yeah, you see it all over the inner city. When they just built the Opportunity Corridor, they had a whole lot of people out the way for that.
Oh yeah.
Nah, I love it. I definitely love driving it. It's convenient as it gets going back and forth. That's like now, but Yeah, folks got displaced when they did that.
Yep, that's always the heartbreaking side of it, and you always got to think twice. Okay, I get where we're going with this, with the progress, but how can we preserve? Is there a way to preserve? Does it make financial sense to do that and reinvest?
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what they end up doing with that space as the years go on. But yeah, you definitely see that all over the city.
So what's your work-life balance looking like these days?
Oh man, I'm not gonna front, man. I have a great life. I can't complain about anything. My job is very, very, very stable. What's the word? Content. I have a very stable job, man. Life has changed dramatically because of COVID. Whereas at one point we serviced, let's say, between 35 and 50 children every day with 330. We were no longer a library, we were more babysitting service for parents who relied on the library to kind of keep an eye on their kids until they could either pick them up. So that's what my job had been for the last 20 years. I've been at my current library for 17 years, so the last 14 and a half years.
Wow.
Was that every day. Because of COVID, now I might see 5 children a day.
Oof. That's a steep drop off.
Oh man, let's say 10 at the most. At the most, they have closed schools in the area, and so there's no after-school rush anymore. The energy would turn up.
Right.
Not to use the slogan, but the energy would kind of be different at 3:30. Felt it. It was in it, but it felt good. It was in a good way. But now it's very quiet, which on the one hand I don't mind. I am older, so I appreciate the peace. But I miss what the library was, and I wonder where the children are because they're not coming in anymore, and you're not seeing as many of them. So it's definitely different.
Right.
But I appreciate it for now. It's an adjustment, but I do appreciate it. As far as life goes, man, I got a great life. Married 10 years, 4 children living here in my house, 4 beautiful kids. Life is good. Life is great. Me and my wife are going on a cruise in a couple weeks. Our first little adventure without the babies. Looking forward to that. My job is very structured because I just work 10 to 6, so it's very easy. Easy thing. Now the thing you hate as you get older is time away from. I don't see my children for maybe 3 hours a day. Because you get up in the morning, I gotta get up, get dressed, get out the door, and head to work. Then once I get home, they usually are in bed by 9.
So the routine is there.
Yeah, the routine is definitely there. But yeah, I got a quality life, man. I got 9 years so I can retire with a full pension. So that feels great. Because I started working for the library early, and I'm currently buying my high school time back. And so buying that will add a couple years, and so yeah, I can retire at age 55 with a full pension.
Wow.
I'm happy about that. Yeah, so that's dope. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh man, you're way ahead of me. You're way ahead of me. Yeah, being out here in the IT industry, I'm still cranking away, but things are moving. I'm maximizing my potential. I finally got to that point where I can maximize my potential career-wise. So I've got a little bit of an edge as far as saving for retirement. But yeah, I'm running it on my own. You're lucky with the pension, that's for sure.
Man, but the flip side of that is I just found out about Social Security. So I'm a very naive person, man. When I was younger,
okay,
I grew up thinking all kids just went to college. That was just what kids did. I didn't. And with regards to Social Security, I just assumed that once you got to a certain age, everybody gets Social Security.
Having a good perspective on just basic fundamentals of saving, man, a lot of that misses us.
Man,
a lot of that misses us. So you know, the investments that I have are all through the job. So they're things that are automatically working for me. Financial literacy that's a whole nother boat.
Word.
Before we go on, I got a couple questions I'm gonna ask you as we go along, but we're just gonna let this flow and chop it up. But if a movie was made about your life, what would the title be?
Couple last weekend hanging out with the fellas, and one of them made a comment about my fashion sense and what I'm always rocking. And so one of the other homeboys was like, man, if you could make a title about this nigga's life, it would be his life is a dope ass hoodie. And I was saying, everybody started laughing, and I thought about it, man. I think that would be the title of my life. My life is a dope ass hoodie. Because like, it's such a wonderful, comfortable piece, man. And the hoodies can just be great, man. Like, it's comfortable, like, it's so, yeah, man. And I think the hoodie, I think that would represent my life. My life is a dope ass hoodie. It's been I've had a very, very good life, man. Very charmed, good life.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot complain about too much of anything. I had two wonderful parents.
Oh yeah, I can contest to that, 100%.
Yeah, appreciate you. A vast network of family and friends who have genuine love, and I always try to be, you know, for the most part, a fairly solid cat. I've definitely had my mistakes and slips up. Major fuck ups.
Yeah.
Too crazy, but you know, it's life.
We all have those, man. We all have those.
But yeah, my life is a dope ass hoodie. I think that would be a great title.
I like it. I like it. Stamp it.
Word.
I like it. But yeah, man. So let's see. We got our childhood together. Grew up on the block, Silsby.
3 houses down, man.
First bestest friend.
Real as it gets. Like, it's a true joy and a pleasure in a real way.
Yeah, man.
That's your father, like, every other day. You know, it reminds me of seeing you. It reminds me of just how wonderful life is. And then I take that's a real joy. The fact that my children know your father. They run up and see your dad, and they are, man, that shit is wonderful.
Generation after generation.
Dog.
Yep.
Look at you.
Positive black folks looking out for one another.
All day and night, man. I have a video of your dad snowblowing my mom's yard.
Yep.
Like when the winter, like your dad at the age of 78.
Yeah.
At 78, comes down the street and snow blows my mom's front yard at 6, 7 in the morning. You know, like did this last. But before I can get over there, get my son over there, I look up and it's done, and it's because your dad did it. Like, that is the dopest shit on the planet. Like, it's just it allows me to just really appreciate life.
That's what keeps that man going too. That life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's great, man. We have a truly blessed life, and yeah, man, I've known you grew up 3 houses down from me. I remember everything. I remember, you know, we played games as kids.
Races. Oh God, the races. Foot races, bike races, everybody wrecking in the trees and crashing into parked cars.
Playing in the woods, hide and seek and hopping fences, and it was just a great childhood. It just felt like the summers just went on forever, and man, life used to be great, man. I mean, you look back on it now with nostalgia, but it felt like it was 90 degrees every day, and we were just outside until my dad whistled.
Oh yeah, your dad whistled loud, man. Your dad had the whistle, bro.
Right. Just whistle, everybody.
I remember that.
Um,
The flavor of hose water.
home dog. Come on, dog. I drink hose water to this day. I washed the car yesterday and had some delicious hose water.
Hose water. Hose water for the win, bro.
It was healthier than alkaline water. You knew you were real. Your stomach had to be made of iron. Hose water with all type of ingredients and nutrients in it. And we drank it happily. A wonderful life. Real.
Yeah, brother. I've kind of taken a step back and just looked at Ohio as a whole myself too. Like, you know, traveling back and forth between here and Cleveland, traveling out between here and Xenia, Dayton area. Zooming around, you know, even as far out as Zanesville. You know, I did photography for a while. You know, so I've got to know the state pretty darn well. And, oh yeah, I did construction for a while. I think as I've gotten older, as I've gotten wiser, I think the allure of connection, the connection and that connective, allegiance some people feel for one area or another, it dissipated. It dissipated, and I just took in Ohio as just, this is Ohio. This is what it is. I'm from here. I love that. I love those memories.
Because of everything you do with the technology and stuff, we need to figure out a way to go work remote and spend the next 9 out of 12 months in St. Lucia.
So funny you mention that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Funny you mention that. So picking up the pieces of where I'm at right now, stayed in the IT industry for my whole life, man. Last job I took, I was with the libraries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not with them no more, man. So I was with them for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely loved it. It was mind-blowing, the amount of knowledge and the amount of career growth I experienced from there. So I took a left-hand turn, a real sharp left, centered around thoughts of a romance might take off. And I started exploring new jobs. I didn't realize at the time that there was a glut of jobs out there for people with my skill set. So, you know, I cast my line out, maybe about 10 or 12 applications in. I got 3 bites at once. And That's
dope. Like you said, with your skill set and all your experience, everything you're bringing, I bet 3 companies were like, so where do I sign up? How do we make this happen? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I've never in my life experienced anything like that. You know, I don't believe in luck at all. Luck doesn't exist. What exists is an opportunity and you being prepared for that opportunity, right?
Say that. That's a good job to all you listeners. Hope you took that one in. That's real. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but that's what it was. I just nerded out. I immersed myself in like all the different angles of business IT service management and how all the services all come together. So, you know, developer wants to create his little app on your phone. Microsoft wants to do their little update. Android wants to do their little update. Well, you know, I'm the red tape. I'm the bad cop that stops them and says, "Yo, is your security right? Is your application updated right in the test system? Did you check with everybody else to make sure you don't break their shit?"
That's dope. Word. So yes, you should be able to do that from anywhere in the world. I feel like, what is it? We're about to be in 2023. Yeah, so that way we're not even gonna rush anything. You time to tie up loose ends and give you a whole year in 2024.
But wait, there's more.
Is there more? Where are we going now?
But wait, there's more. I'm 100% remote now.
Oh, so I don't even need to keep talking about it. You're telling me pretty much say less. Like you can actually 100% remote means you can kind of dictate how and where this looks. I feel like you should be doing this from the beach at home, St. Lucia, with a cousin who can show you around, and then bam, man, your life would be wonderful.
So I got a strategy right now, and don't know. Me and you may not have rapped about it. I don't know. Did you listen to episode 2 at all?
I
Have you had?
started to.
Okay.
My way, life gets in my way.
Yeah.
But so tell me what happened with episode 2, or what did I miss? Did you allude to about to make a move?
I alluded to a great move that may or may not be taken with a grain of salt by some individuals, mainly the fairer sex. But I'm done dating in the United States. I will never again lay with a woman from this nation. And while I'm sure in my heart of hearts there are still good women out there, I'm 47. I don't have time to look for needles in a haystack. I also have my own requirements for what I look for culturally in a woman, and America is void of culture.
Say that shit.
America, I mean, it just, you always have a balance to everything, right? So, we know where the culture went wrong. We know from the 70s and 80s and I'm just going to say it, Black Twitter can come get me, but the uprise of the Oprah crowd, from that to the, the Vanishing Black Family flick from 84. We got that was the whole I don't need no man movement. So now you got I don't need no man in the 80s, Poison in the 90s, the 90s now Poisoning where we at, right? You got a 25 to 27 year spread of toxicity. Then you have the rise of radical feminism. You have the rise of Me Too. You can't maneuver as a single man without consent. You can't maneuver without the blessings of God and faith in the relationship as a married man without the total paycheck being paid out to the woman in both because of the marriage and the children. That in and of itself is an industry.
That big business.
You can't maneuver without false pretense and, everybody looking for 666. And, they already done pair bonded with like 3 other men before you, plus done had as many, as the cop carousel provided. You ain't getting no quality nurturing and attention and affection. There's the entitlement, there's the consumerism, there's the GMO plastic chicks, bro. And then on top of everything, you got to make sure it's a chick.
This is 2022. And being got tricked and be upset, and you shouldn't get arrested for what happens next. But that Virginia Tech football player, this was like 2 years ago. He was on one of them apps, gets catfished by a man who was acting like a woman, but very, very slender, very slim and small and petite. Shows up at this dude's crib, might even capped him off. And once he realized it was a man, he beat the man to death, like broke all the bones in his face. This is hang on, seeing you can go to any website, and he actually got off. He got acquitted. I was like, word.
But it's
like,
false. That's false pretense, like a motherfucker, bro. And then, bro, that's like fucking with somebody that got AIDS and they don't tell you.
Say that shit, my G. Say that shit. I said, man, that's a bad day. But that's like, why would you? That's fucking gross. But back to, I'm sorry that I have not had a chance to go down the rabbit hole and listen to episode 2. However, I'm picking up one of my close homeboys. This good friend of mine went to Cleveland Heights, came out in '92. Is like my big homie. He celebrated a birthday on October the 13th, so he treated himself to what is now his second trip to the Dominican in as many months. He went in August and spent 3 or 4 days there, 4 or 5 days, something like that, and went back. I took him to the airport Wednesday and flies back tonight. And let me just say that with regards to the things that you were saying about being treated a certain way by the opposite sex, fair sex, whatever we want to call them, the way that he is received there is I don't want to say king-like, but it's a different sort of ball game.
It's a testament, and I'll tell you what. Even if you tricking, bro, and I don't encourage that, but even if you tricking or you messing with a woman or females down there, because they will roam in packs at times, and you will, I mean, sometimes you'll get her and her friend, and it's no big deal. The culture's completely different. It's completely different, bro. They won't even have to like you. They could have just gave you a little bit, and we'll still cook for you. And we'll still cook for you. And it's not some subservient, it ain't got nothing to do. It ain't got to do with because I paid her if she a trick. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They was raised flat out to understand their role. The gender norms are not influenced by culture like they are here in the United States. Classic gender norms still remain. You still have the man operating as the leader that is going to bring resources to the home that the woman runs for the husband and then for the husband and the children. You don't have this, well, I'm a strong, independent woman. My feet hurt, nigga. You eating some macaroni and cheese out the box.
Oh, that would be so terrible. I couldn't even imagine that. Like, oh my God.
Bro, yeah. And I don't even expect, you know what? I think it would be an absolute treat for the latter half of my life if that's what it turned out to be, but I don't even expect a woman to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And brothers to go overseas, the thing is, they're not going overseas looking for no little girls and shit. That's some old bitter black bitch shit that they stir up to try to discourage people and make something out to be worse than it is. Bro, if you're looking for a fit, feminine woman that's friendly, you're gonna find that overseas. Let me tell you one thing: women that are in their 20s are left over women in other countries. Men don't want them. A 25-year-old woman who knows how to take care of home, is a university student, is doing big things for herself, can still support herself, and immediately wants to be a wife.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic.
There is nothing wrong with that at all. I'm looking for a young wife.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. That's as it should be. As it should be. That is fantastic. But you're 1,000% correct. Like, life just changed so much with regards to the influence of the music and just the culture in the 70s, 60s, and 70s specifically. Music, as it related to the community, had one central theme, and that theme was love. And whether that was love for self, love for community, love for your people, love for romantic love, love was the centralized theme when you listen to most of the great music that was made in the generation before ours.
That was so inspiring to grow up to be able to witness and live through that and explore that within yourself, because we don't have that now.
Oh, no. They stopped that when for as much as I love ignorant rap music, I have probably 1,300 songs downloaded on my phone. I would say 1,000 of them are full of ignorant rap.
Guilty as charged over here too, bro. Guilty as charged.
But the thing is, that music, I believe, purposely was made the dominant. It's the number one music in the world, and at its core, it was beautiful. But once they realized the money that could be made by pushing the truly negative imagery, which God knows I love, that shit did a lot of damage. At the core. It changed a lot of things. It changed a lot of the way that we dress each other, the way we feel about each other. I didn't believe that when I was younger.
Right.
As I get older, the more I'm like, damn, like just from the standpoint that there is no other genre where the participants in the genre just openly decide to disrespect each other and fight and shoot at each other. There's no opera singers or country singers who decide that now I have enemies in this, and when we see each other, it's about to be on. Yet, that is what rappers devolved to by the time the early to mid 90s got here. And as a young person, you just chalked it up to some nigga shit. I look at life now, I'm like, nah, that shit, that wasn't done. That was on purpose. I don't believe there's a white man that just sits there and pushes buttons. There's one white man who does that.
No.
But I do believe that they had their hands in that mix. All they did was just point us to the shit, and we ran toward it, and that was our choice.
Right.
But when they dominant thing that was out there, just the fact of the way that they allowed these men to openly brutalize and talk about it, like, that shit's nigga.
And then you have these days, what's the main thing that's out right now? I mean, we don't got Lauryn Hills and Queen Latifah's no more. You know, we got Cardi B's, Megs. Yeah, man, we got all that. You know, so I don't cook, I don't clean. You know, that's theme song anthem.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's anthem, bro.
Yes, sir. And that is what young ladies are listening to, or excuse me, that is what's put out there for them to listen to.
Right.
Rhapsody is a wonderful female rapper. I believe her album was top 5 in 2019 or 2020, as far as my personal favorites go. But she's not going to get promoted and pushed in the way that she should. Her songs are, she's a beautiful rapper, beautiful flow. If you get a chance, Rapsody.
I know you have a thick hip hop respect, as well as the golden oldies, the 60s, 70s.
Yes, sir.
So run it, man. What's good? What's your taste like these days?
Oh man, okay. So well, my favorite rapper of all time, Scarface from the Ghetto Boys. I think he's the greatest rapper. Most of the music I listen to is rap. Like I said, I've got like 1,300 songs on my phone. I haven't listened to the radio in fucking decades. Ever since tape decks and CDs became a thing, I never listened to the radio. You always want to hear your own music. So anyway, most of the music I do listen to is gonna be rap. It's gonna be probably aggressive rap. I feel bad sometimes because, you know, my children are with me in the car all day long, and my children quote Gucci Mane and Young Dolph, and just as quickly as they can do algebra. And so I love the fact my kids are super smart, but the music they hear in my car is fairly ignorant. I have lately, although I will say, I used to always be silly and disrespect Stevie Wonder. I used to be like, you can't hit a baseball, he's overrated. You know, I'll say all types of goofy shit about Stevie. A couple weeks ago, fellas were sitting around, man. I was like, can y'all do me a favor? Play some of y'all favorite Stevie Wonder records, man. And the journey that they took me on, like, I'm like, this nigga Stevie Wonder he might be the most incredible person in the history of the world. Like, his music is just amazing. So I've enjoyed that. I've been listening to a lot of Stevie lately. Like I said, when I get in my car, man, like, I got all this music on my phone. I just hit random and then play, and that's all I listen to. So it's just a lot of rap from a lot of old stuff for the most part, man. I would say from like the late 80s in terms of NWA and Scarface and the Ghetto Boys and
Yep.
Enemy. I have a lot of Public Enemy on my phone, and from the early and mid 90s, obviously all the West Coast, but then Tribe Called Quest and Gangstar and Wu-Tang and all the music. I don't listen to a lot of the newer music. I feel like rap music started with us, so it's fair that we can critique it. And a lot of this new shit is trash. A lot of these new young cats,
Facts. Remember when they were playing mixes of Roxanne Shantae's new releases live on 90? Was that 93?
Oh, 90, and then we had 92.3. We had but yeah, we have real music. We have real music. This new generation, this shit is terrible. Oh, it's just so bad. Like you said earlier, we had MC Light and Latifah and Lauryn Hill. Um, th- they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Carl Hagan and Nicki Minaj. It's just a different sound. It's just terrible.
It's a different message altogether.
1,000,000%. Like they just let these hypersexualized females get on the radio and talk about things that, yes, grown, you're supposed to listen to. You're a grown up, but they put it on our children. Our 14-year-olds are walking around listening to Little Kim talk about how she can make a Sprite can disappear in her mouth. We heard that as kids. Like that album came out when I was 18 years old. Wait, no. Well, Lil Kim came out in 96. I'm sorry. So I was 20. But if I was 20, there were still 12-year-old girls listening to it.
Yeah.
School and elementary school children who heard that shit. And that shit's terrible. But anyway, as far as I listen to a lot of most of my rap, like I said, would be from the late 90s or early to late 80s to, let's say, like 2010. I don't listen to shit like Future and
Nah. I mean, there's a couple tracks here or there, man, that are the top pop tracks or the top whatever tracks, man, and those will cross my ear hole.
Early Kanye.
Only first 3-4 album.
First three for me.
First 3-4 albums. That's it. Outkast.
Oh, come on, they're the greatest rap group of all.
Yeah, they stay in rotation.
All day and night. So yeah, listen to a lot of that. Entertainment wise, you know me, I'm still big sports. So today my Browns got their ass whooped, but the Giants won, so I'm happy about that. It's Wednesday, the Cavs are about to be sweet, and we got the Indians. I know it's supposed to be politically correct and call them the Guardians, but fuck that. They're the Cleveland Indians.
Respect.
I don't mean to be to anyone who might listen to this, and I do not mean that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's just I'm ignorant, and this is, that's what I grew up there, the Cleveland Indians.
It gets hard for me too, bro. Every time I come to town, I stutter and stumble. I get it.
But anyway, the Guardians do play tonight, and they have a shot. If they beat the Yankees tonight, they win the series. That's big. So it's a good time in Cleveland right now, which is dope. So yeah, watch a lot of sports. And entertainment, you know me, I watch a lot of comedies as far as movies. I sit around and watch action movies and superhero movies. My wife doesn't really care a lot about television. When she does want to watch TV, of course, we'll sit and watch Oxygen, so I sleep with one eye open because we watch whatever Oxygen might have on, and we'll sit there and watch it and laugh and all that stuff.
Don't get in trouble, man. Don't get in trouble. You're going to have me doing a whole bunch of heavy editing out here.
But my wife, she really could care less about TV, so we watch pretty much whatever I want to watch, which is usually going to be some sports or some, a goofy movie.
That's cool, man. That's good you all got that balance, too.
Definitely, yeah. She don't care about TV, so we'll smoke a blunt and watch a Will Ferrell movie, or for the 90th time, or Coming to America, or whatever dope. Jason Bourne, she loves all the Jason, so we watch all the action movies. The superhero movies, I can't tell you how many times I've seen Avengers Endgame and Black Panther and Ant-Man.
Oh, the new Black Panther. Now, come on, bro. You pre-order tickets?
I'm Are
you split? Or wait, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. In the comics, there was an arc where Shuri did take up the mantle of the Black Panther.
You and me know.
But the fact that these sons of bitches are gonna act like they're not gonna recast T'Challa, I get it. Chadwick did a great job. He was a wonderful Black Panther. He was wonderful. He was the first one that we saw, and he carried it off wonderfully. But his character, the Black Panther, T'Challa, is far too important to the comic book world to just be like, oh, Chadwick died, so we can't move on. Like, the character has to die. That's fucking preposterous. We've had 10 Spider-Mans, we've had 18 Supermans, we've had 28 Batmans. Like, don't tell me. T'Challa right now is the leader of the Avengers in the comics. Like, this whole fact that they're about, okay, I'm sorry for going on this tangent, but the fact that they're about to introduce Namor. Namor and T'Challa have been locked in a blood feud in the comics since the 70s. So the fact that they're about to introduce Namor with no fucking T'Challa, like, who does that? You could have had anybody be the villain. So I'm disgusted by that, and I hate to, but this gets into the whole, the fact that they're making women like such a fucking big deal in the MCU. Like, come the fuck on. I'm sorry.
Nope. Hey, like, that was you're one of, if not the most inspiring comic book authority in my life, because your desire, your passion for comics got me exposed to comics. If I don't know if we ever talked about that or not, but yeah, that was a key piece of my journey, and that carried on. Now that's one thing that carried on well into my high school and going into college, and I still have my old collection. I just had it in storage and whatnot. But yeah, bro, yeah. So okay, all right. Did you read? This is the part where we piss everybody off. Did you read She-Hulk series, the first series?
The her comic?
Her comic.
Definitely.
So what do you think about her show?
I enjoyed the show.
Okay.
From the standpoint that for her show, the fact that there were 9 episodes, okay, she fucked through. Like She-Hulk in the comics, she be knocking niggas down. Oh, so let me stop all this cursing. Okay, She-Hulk has a 9-episode series. She slept with 3 different men. Now, in a major male-dominated society, we would look at her as a hoe. As an adult, I don't think bad of her at all. I think that's dope. Knocking down. I think that's dope, right? And so in the comics, She-Hulk was viewed to be loose like that. And let me not call that woman loose. She was sexually liberated in the comics. She talked to the audience in the comics. She was one of the first that broke that fourth wall. Like, everybody talks about Deadpool.
Nah, she did it before Deadpool.
When that shit in the 80s.
Right, right.
I enjoy her show. Now, they're going to take liberties and do goofy stuff, like the way that she got her powers. She definitely didn't get her powers like that in the comics.
Not at all, yeah. And I'm not going to nitpick. I'm not necessarily team She-Hulk, because I get too cerebral, and I expect somebody at some point in fucking time in this bankrupt Hollywood world to do something at least remotely close to the source. So I get certain liberties they took. I just don't think it was true enough to the source. I think they used fan expected nostalgia berries that made us go, oh yeah, she broke the fourth wall. Oh yeah, she humped a bunch of guys and did jumping jacks in the nude. So you know what I'm saying? And so that tickles our fancy, and we're happy with just that. But then we overlook everything else. And going back to like the Black Panther thing, like, it seemed they played their card way too heavy on the feminine empowerment thing.
Oh yeah.
And that's the part where I'm like, that's just bad writing. That's just pandering. That's gynocentrism. So I'm gonna give it another shot and get past episode 3. Everybody's like, after episode 3, it's good. All right. So.
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I feel like, in this Me Too fucking bullshit world we're currently dealing with, what they've done with the Marvel Universe is try and make females, like the fact they have Captain Marvel as the most powerful character. Get the fuck out of here. And when she first gets her powers and she's sparring with Bruce and she's able to kind of keep up with him, the fuck out of here. It's the Hulk. No one keeps up with the Hulk. That's why he's the Hulk. So like even though I enjoy the Kamala Miss Marvel, it's decent. It's more for young people, kids as they introduce. But she's a teenager in the comics, as well.
Yeah, she's a young. They played her fair. They played her fair.
Yeah, they're going to make them
they've done too much. Like that scene in Endgame that had all the female heroes gather at the end to go fight. Like that shit was corny. I remember being in the theater, like, you're doing too much. Why would you don't have to do all that?
They don't have to do all that.
But they will.
We
Like,
know girls can fight too. We see them.
Yeah.
We know who they are. They're the ones that are right there next to everybody else.
Yes, and so they do too much with stuff like that. But I think, unfortunately, that's the world we're about to grow up in. You know, the way that the society is gone, it's nuts out here.
I think it's a pendulum. It's a pendulum. It's going to swing. We're going to have radicals like we always do. We had, years and years of racist white radicals. They've toned down a little bit. They're a little bit more in the background. Then we have the rise of equality, and you have the radicals that were looking for a little bit more than just their fair share. And we had this feminism bust that we're currently in the middle of. What do I say? Like we're in like the fifth or sixth wave of the feminist movement, and now it's influencing all of our media and everything. But the pendulum always continues to swing. The views of humanity always continue to evolve and grow, and what may be uncomfortable for us right now, and maybe tearing our culture apart ever so slightly. I put in air quotes. We'll come out of it. We'll come out of it. But if you got any plugs or any last thoughts you'd like to drop, any dimes, support for the wonderful libraries out there?
Well, I would like to first say, man, I love you, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to chop it up with you for a day. You're dope, ATN, and this was fun. So I appreciate you. I wanted to say that first. Yeah, man, outside to anybody who, might hear this or see this, just be great, man. Every day, I'm stealing this from Jay Prince. Every day when you wake up, you're given a chance and a choice. And a lot of times your life will be determined by the choices you make with the chances you get. And so try and make good choices. Yeah. So that's it, man.
My brother from another mother, let me tell you, kiss mom for me, give her a hug for me. I love you too, man. And I appreciate you accompanying me on my journey, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we will chop it up soon, ATN. You keep being great, my G.
Yes, sir. And to the listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Be well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Right.